What is up, everybody? It is Sunday. It is 8:01 Pacific Standard Time, unless you're listening to this on Spotify. And as always, you know where your cryptids are.
Well, of course. See, they're back over here. And this guy. I can't tell left, right, left.
I know, everything's all messed up. We are on Season 5, Episode 16. We are closing in on the nitty and the gritty. Episode 20 with a 100th episode of Unleashed. That will be on March 22nd. That'll be a 2-hour show. We will be going over videos and past investigations. And our good friends over at Paranormal Parkour said that they have given us permission to use their videos that we are a part of to talk about and go over. We have 3 episodes. This is night 1 of Ghosts with McMenamins. So we'll have 3 nights of Ghosts of McMenamins. Then Lady Tammy has a special 99th episode, which is the 18th of Season 5. And then again, we've got the 2-hour special on March 22nd to celebrate the 100th year. 100th year, God. Don't mind me, insomnia, it's a bitch.
Don't do that shit.
Yeah, maybe 100th year. Yeah, maybe we'll just keep this thing going forever and a day, man. We'll find some vampires that'll bite us. We'll be.
Well, hell, maybe by then we can start making some money.
We can only hope or get a sponsorship. Maybe we're talking to the wrong people. Maybe we need to talk to, Mr. Daniels and Weinhardt and whoever else we can get a hold of and say, hey, we'll drink your drink on the air if you sponsor us.
You mean Mr. Jack?
Yeah, Mr. Jack.
Yeah. Cover that enough, don't we?
Anyways, we're just going to let Lady Tammy run with it.
There we go.
She's speechless.
Well, I know there's going to be some women in white, maybe some thrown out the window on these.
Yeah, I don't know. We're in Oregon now.
That doesn't mean nothing.
Well, if you live in the Pacific Northwest, you've probably heard of McMenamins. With around 55 locations, most are in Oregon. The McMenamins restaurants and hotels are often in unique old buildings like former schoolhouses, a poor farm, a Masonic lodge, historic hotels, and even old churches. Besides being able to enjoy some delicious foods, Cajun tots, you may also get to enjoy a ghost or two. Yes, many of the McMenamins locations are haunted. Several locations even have ghost logs where visitors can record their experiences with the supernatural. So tonight we are going to visit, a couple of these iconic locations and learn about the spirits and the guests that never leave. So we're going to start our tour, start our night at the McMenamins Edgefield, located in Troutdale, Oregon.
Good food, good beer.
Good food, didn't try the beer.
Don't they have concerts and stuff there too?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
When I was there, they also had a par 3 golf course in the back. I don't know if they still have it or not.
I don't know. We'll find out later in this, I guess. So the historic location was built in 1911. McMenamins Edgefield was originally the Multnomah County Poor Farm to provide housing, food, and work for the area's indigenous residents. Operating as a self-sufficient farm until the 1960s, Portland and the surrounding cities in the county would send their poor population to the farm. The farm, which ultimately grew to be 345 acres, was completed in a year at the cost of $100,000 and included a main lodge, outbuildings, dairy, and a piggery. Bacon! There you go, James.
God damn you and the damn bacon shit. God almighty. Say it once or I can't live it down.
There's nothing wrong with bacon. Bacon is awesome.
Bacon good.
In November of 1911, 211 inmates, later called residents, moved in, 75 of whom were bedridden due to chronic or untreated illness. Meat and mush tables were divided the residents. Those who were able to work in the fields or in the institution, they ate meals 3 times a day, or ate meat in their meals 3 times a day. The others only had meat in their meals once a day. By 1914, the poor farm was a success on paper, with 302 residents housed there. They also managed a herd of Holstein dairy cows, 100 Duroc hogs that ate scraps and leftovers from the dining room, 420 Plymouth Rock hens, and 225 chickens. The crops, vegetables, fruit, hay, grain, eggs, and 27 acres of potatoes were shared with the county jail, a hospital, and a juvenile home. At the peak of the poor farm population in 1935, there were 614 residents living on the farm, 535 men and 63 women. When President Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal and World War II brought a job boom, the able-bodied residents left the farm to re-enter the job market. The remaining residents were sent to other locations, except for those that couldn't live independently. The farm concept was soon abandoned, and in 1959, a county jail moved to the site. 10 years later, the dairy herd would be sold off and the fields were leased out. The farm changed its name to Edgefield, and in 1964, it became a nursing home and a rehabilitation home. The nursing home became one of the first ones in Oregon to offer rehab services. It lasted until 1982. The facility needed $400,000 in renovations, so the county chose to close the facility rather than spend the money. It was shut down and abandoned. By 1985, it was neglected and ravaged by vandals. Edgefield was declared debilitated beyond repair, and it was destined for demolition. Burst pipes sent water everywhere, and windows were broken, as well as vandalism, where every surface that could be painted on was spray painted with graffiti. Everything that wasn't bolted down was stolen over the years. But the Troutdale Historic Society challenged the county, claiming that the buildings were historic and they should be protected. So preservationists staved off demolition for nearly 5 years before the complex was purchased in 1990 by microbrew pioneers Mike and Brian McMenamins. They wanted to try their hand at the hotel business. So in the early 1980s, the building became a historic landmark and was placed on the National Registry of Historic Places.
Yay.
Yeah. So the McMenamins brothers restored the land and what was left of the buildings in an effort to make a recreation area. So there's now a movie theater, a garden, a golf course, a concert area, and it has become a venue rentable for weddings and special events. Mm-hmm. The Mission Theater and Pub were opened in 1987. When Edgefield was a poorhouse, it was home to hundreds of people at a time. After McMenamins bought the property, locals reported that the brothers had a spirit cleansing done to get rid of any of the lingering entities. But guess what? It didn't work. During the cleansing, room 215 was found to have animal bones creepily arranged in the shape of a pentagram. And I read
Nice.
I did read that there was more pentagram carvings throughout the building. The second floor and room 215 are of particular interest due to the paranormal activity. Guests report a strange energy around the remaining building, but this comes as no surprise with the stories that people have heard and reported. McMenamins Edgefield is now a beautiful, inviting hotel and event venue where guests can have wonderful experiences, including a few hauntings. There are reports of unmarked graves on the property. These were perhaps from the poorhouse in the nursing home. There is a report of a young new mother whose child passed away from chickenpox. I'm not sure how the mother died, but both bodies are reportedly buried on the property, and their spirits remain at Edgefield. There was another report of a woman that can be heard on the upper floors of the hotel. She's trying to calm her crying child. The staff says that she sings nursery rhymes almost every night at midnight. Guests say that the rhymes are soothing and they seem to be at ease with that spirit because it just keeps them all calm and everything. A visitor to the hotel told the staff that she felt as though she was being watched. Soon after that was said, they heard a disembodied voice scream, "Get out!" There have been reports by other visitors as well. The touchy-feely ghosts that use their invisible hands to push up against visitors' shoulders, backs, and chests. Sometimes they even push their way violently through the building. Guests have also heard whispers when there's no one around them. There is a ghost that wears a flowery perfume. It is believed that she may be an elderly woman who died in the nursing facility.
Wearing white?
I don't know.
Just thought I'd ask. Just thought I'd put it
wearing
up.
a nightgown. Some guests have also told about seeing a small child who races down the hallway at all hours of the night and day. Worried guests ask the little boy, "Where's your parents?" And at that moment, he vanishes. There's actually a ghost log book at the front desk for guests to write down their supernatural experiences.
He doesn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. So one comment in the book said, "I was taking a shower, then all of a sudden, I felt a hand grab my butt. I screamed and grabbed my towel to dry off and get my clothes on. Right as I spotted my shirt, it flew up in the air." I did talk to a lady a few weeks ago that said she's been there and she was in this room and all of a sudden this little cat toy or cat ball or something went rolling around the room, and then a little bit later it did it again, and then I've had a few people contact me that were going to tell me about their experiences, but I haven't heard anything yet, so we'll put that in another episode.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Edgefield is one of those places that it's like every McMenamins, unless it's like a one building outfit. They're just like a maze of buildings and everything else.
Yeah,
Edgefield is huge.
it is. I mean, I've been there once, and I almost got lost trying to find a part of the restaurant that I was meeting somebody at.
Yeah, I want to go up there sometime. I was going to go for a Nora Jones concert, and then I ended up not making it up there.
Yeah, I know I was following around some spectral child when I was there for an actual management meeting within my company, and I got there early and was walking around the hotel and saw a child who just didn't look right and started following him, and followed the kid for a while, and then he disappeared in a doorway. And I don't mean like just, he went around a doorway and I just lost track of him. Like he went into the doorway and just wisp away. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, man. That's
But then
cool.
it was time to go hang out with the bosses and listen about how, company's doing so good.
I see Josh made it on briefly.
Yeah, briefly.
Okay.
Haven't seen the doctor, Professor Doctor.
I know. I wonder how she's doing. I forgot to reach out to her.
I know she liked one of her posts. So.
Oh, cool. So it's no wonder there are a variety of spirits at Edgefield. Over the 7 decades that it was in use as a poor farm, nursing home, and jail, several types of people stayed there. Sea captains, captains of industry, school teachers, ministers, homemakers, home builders, and loggers, nurses, musicians, former slaves, and slave owners all called the place home at one time. But there was one person I was really interested to learn about that lived on the farm. Her name was Frankie Baker. Do either of you guys remember who she is?
Never heard of her. Sorry.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, so she killed her lover when she found him with another woman. She was acquitted of murder, claiming self-defense. Who was Frankie Baker, you ask? Do you remember the Elvis movie Frankie and Johnny?
Okay.
She was Frankie.
Oh, okay.
I believe in the movie she was played by can't remember her name. The girl that played Ellie Mae on the Beverly Hillbillies. She played the part of Frankie and Elvis played Johnny. But anyway, so Frankie and Johnny was a true story with some of the names changed, but it was that Frankie. She moved to Portland, Oregon to get away from the sensationalized version of her story, which was the Elvis movie. 2 places on the Edgefield campus are said to contain certain ghosts. The winery used to be used as a hospital wing. In this area, people suddenly become overcome with sadness. A nurse has been seen wandering the halls. A young girl has been seen wandering around. The story goes that it may have been the administrator's young daughter who had died. Another ghost that was seen around is described as a black man in tattered clothing. The next part is kind of scary. Some ghosts report having their ankles tied down in the middle of the night. A Portland man... It's kind of like that one that strangled everybody back in Arizona.
Yeah. I think it just followed us north.
Yeah. So a Portland man named John Flannery talked about helping a friend and experienced something that made him believe that there's definitely something supernatural at Edgefield. He told about going into a long room with a bunch of closets. They turned on the light and they saw a person peeking out of one of the closets. It was a male that wasn't very old. His hand was on the closet door, but when John looked closer, the boy disappeared. He and his friend felt uneasy and had a strange feeling overcome them, so they just got out of there as quick as they could. But okay, do you guys have anything else about Edgefield before we move on?
The beer is really good.
Other than the child, didn't you have any other experiences there, Doc?
I was only there the one time, and it was the child walking around. I know that a lot of other paranormal teams have been renting rooms kind of on a weekend. They'll go out, and I know a couple friends of ours went out, and they were requesting certain rooms, and they said that room 2, whatever Tammy said.
215?
215. Some one of our friends was in 215, and they said it was kind of spooky, and then there's kids running down the hallway at night.
Well, yeah, and I've kind of like heard people stayed in. I can't remember if they said what room it was, but they were in a room, and the room next to them sounded like it was a party, but no one was in that room. So
I think we're staying at the wrong hotels.
Yeah, I think so too.
McMenamins for the win.
Well.
Okay, so we are going to let these ghosts be for now, and we're going to go check out McMenamins White Eagle Saloon in Portland. According to the website, their tagline reads, "Echoing with tales of ghosts, mischief, and mayhem, this 1905 saloon and hotel reverberates with live music and funky attitude." Set in North Portland's industrial neighborhood, the legendary White Eagle Cafe and Rock and Roll Hotel echoes with tall tales of resident spirits, reverberating rock, and Shanghai tunnels, as it has since it opened in 1905. So the 2-story building, dating back to 1905, became a local hangout for people from all walks of life. Looking at the exterior of the White Eagle Saloon, it is clear to see why people love the place. Its architecture is inviting, but it's also mysterious, as if there's a ghostly aura around the building. For almost 100 years, the saloon has kept its original purpose, along with becoming a cafe and hotel. Originally named the B. Sobolewski and Company Saloon, the building primarily housed industrial supplies. Two Polish immigrants, William Hersko and Barney Sobolewski, opened the saloon together after an economic boom in Portland. They decided to name the saloon after the white eagle that's found on the Polish flag. Eventually, William Herzesko's brother, Joseph, took over as head bartender of the saloon and moved into one of the upstairs rooms. The saloons in the area were incredibly popular among the sailors and the industrial workers of Portland. Early on in the saloon's success, the owners realized they would need to continuously advertise in order to draw in more customers. So one way they accomplished this was by handing out lunches for free. Most of the saloons in the area utilized this method to gain more customers. The city's disabled and poor also benefited from the free lunches. But in 1913, the city decided to ban the practice. The White Eagle Saloon remained popular with Portland's immigrant population. The local city council took notice of the growing popularity of saloons and warned that they could be places for unsavory people. Many preferred the White Eagle to other watering holes in the area. But despite the city council's warning, many people continued to just keep going to their local saloons. The White Eagle Saloon did very well for itself, but it did run into some competition and trouble along the way. So rumors started to fly that the White Eagle started gambling and prostitution rings to keep its door open.
Red light, red light.
Oh no, we lost Doc.
Oh, well, you know, he's dealing with the dog and the other half. Sounds like.
So this White Eagle place sounds kind of cool.
From what I have not been there personally. I've always wanted to go, but I do hear it's a good place to go, especially for hauntings and the food too. I hear so whatever. And then honestly, I didn't even know up until recently that it was a McMenamins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even know. I just always heard White Eagle, and you know, everywhere that McMenamins is, it's usually McMenamins this, McMenamins that, but never the White Eagle. It's always the White Eagle.
Huh. Yeah, down here we have 3 McMenamins, I think, in Eugene. One's on the McMenamin on High Street. One is I think 19th, it's down on campus, and then we have the McMenamins North Bank, which is right along the river, and it's so nice in the summertime.
Check this out. We got the Oregon Ghost Conference on, and they say the White Eagle is great.
Woohoo!
And the wifey's also on. Yeah, I know. If memory serves me right, if I did hear correctly, the Oregon Ghost Conference, Rocky, the organizer, he's done some stuff at the White Eagle, and so there's some other paranormal groups. And poor Doc, he is just dealing with that poor dog.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
I definitely, Doc, I think we need to get time to see if we can get into the White Eagle.
I think the White Eagle would be a great place to get into, as well as Edgefield. I think Edgefield would be a better place to get like a bunch of teams together, rent out rooms.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know if you guys saw, but Oregon Ghost Conference said that the White Eagle is a great place.
You're a little slow, Doc.
Yeah, I know. I had an angry dog.
Uh-huh.
I am looking so forward to going to the Oregon Ghost Conference.
It will all be there. Oregon Ghost Conference says, yes, he used to do monthly talks there. Very haunted.
That's right. I thought it was something
Very
else.
cool.
I couldn't remember.
It's on the list of places to go.
It's on the bucket list.
Which gets longer and longer every week.
Oh, yeah. We still got a place out here in Scappoose. We got to look. We actually have to go out and talk to them.
Well, when I get back from the Ghost Conference on that Sunday, I think is when we're going to do that Twisted Duck Pub investigation. There's a couple gals are going to go with me. We're going to try it out. My spirit box just arrived.
Excellent.
Nice.
I guess
We're going to have to do a show with you after all your little investigation.
I guess after I left the other night, they stayed really late and the ghost was active. They said there was all kinds of stuff going on there. I kept trying to say, hey, Wally, give me a hug, but he would never come out and hug me. So,
Yeah, it's a thing with spirits. They don't exactly respond on demand. And we've got a cemetery out here that, I don't know, James, I think we need to get you out to. I don't think I've taken you out to the cemetery yet. Kinder Cemetery.
Which one?
Kinder Cemetery out in Deer Island. I don't think I've taken you there.
No, I think we did the one over there where was it the Ross over by the that place we investigated, the Moose Lodge or wherever it was?
Yeah, it was Bayview I took you to. We still got to get you up to the Masonic.
No, I thought we did the Masonic up on the hill.
Yeah, up on the hill. Yeah, well, okay, we did.
Yeah.
That's still cool though. We got to go check out more stuff on that one though.
Yeah.
Not when it's like 100 degrees outside, because
and people whining because they have to walk uphill.
See, I need to come up there and hang out with you guys for a weekend so I can learn the stuff, because I've have invitations for us to get into a couple of the Masonic buildings down here.
Yeah, I know we're still sitting on an invitation. Well, not really an invitation. I was told to come back and talk to the head historical person here in Scappoose about one of the locations.
Awesome.
So I got to get back on that one. Then there's a couple places downtown St. Helens that's on our walking route that are wanting investigations. I got to get down there and talk to them about getting some location set up. And of course, we start filming.
Yep.
3 documentaries back to back coming March 14th.
We have so derailed far from McMenamins.
We're filling out time, I guess.
Okay, well, we'll go back to McMenamins because we just
Going back to minutes.
Because we just started talking about the rumors started to fly that the White Eagles started gambling and prostitution rings to keep their doors open. Barney Sobleski eventually sold his side of the business in 1914, which only fueled the rumors further. The Hersko brothers were now the sole owners of the saloon, and they changed the building after Sobleski left. They added an upstairs area and extended the rear of the saloon to the back edge of the property. Many people believe this expansion happened because they needed more room for their illegal activities. Prohibition, which was reinstated in 1915, caused the Hersko brothers to rethink their business practices. Publicly, they denied illicit activities but continued to host illegal ventures at the saloon. More rumors circulated that the brothers installed a large vault door in the basement, and the tunnel helped to transport illegal alcohol from the Shanghai tunnels to the White Eagle customers. While the bar was always on the first level, rumors swirled that illegal dealings like prostitution and gambling took place on the second floor. Some even claimed that there was an opium den in the basement. The current owners of the saloon state that there's no evidence found to corroborate these stories. However, the frequent fights in the bar did lead to the nickname for the bar that stuck, the Bucket of Blood. Didn't we hear that somewhere else?
I think we might have.
Yeah, wasn't that over in Arizona?
Yeah,
I think it was Arizona.
Yeah.
I think in Keeneman or something. But anyway, so yet there is truth to the tale that seems a little more far-fetched. So the owners were embroiled in an assassination plot against the President of the United States.
Oh.
It was 1906, 5 years after President William McKinley was assassinated by a Polish anarchist. Rumors were circulating about a similar plot being planned with President Theodore Roosevelt being the new target, with the plotting reportedly taking place at the White Eagle. There was enough weight to the accusations that officials raided the tavern in June. Just as they were on the cusp of deporting those who were involved with the bar, a newspaper reporter came to the tavern's aid. He released a report that showed they were not involved in such a scheme. And this made the police happy enough that they let the saloon keep operating.
Well,
After Prohibition, sailors became the most frequent patrons of the White Eagle Saloon. The sailors would bring shipments of alcohol to the saloon, and then they would have a couple drinks themselves before returning to the docks.
Oh.
Sailors and other dock workers would stay upstairs in the rooms of the White Eagle Saloon.
Real quick here, the Oregon Ghost Conference says that Bucket of Blood is also Virginia City, and I forgot about Virginia City. Yes, sir, Bucket of Blood, Virginia City.
Is Virginia City still there, or is that?
Oh yeah, I was there a couple of years ago.
Cool.
Another place on the bucket list.
Yeah.
Not my bucket list. I've already been there and done that.
So the sailors would often hire working girls to spend the night with them. Some of the darker rumors were about the men being shanghaied from the saloon through the underground tunnels. Often captains had a hard time keeping sailors on their ships. So, and working on the boat was very hard labor. And so sometimes the sailors would run off as soon as the ships got to the dock. They were done. Because of this, the ship's captains often resorted to hiring thugs to drug unsuspecting saloon customers. After the man was drugged, he would be taken through the tunnels and to a ship where he was forced to work. After Prohibition ended, everything calmed down for the Hersco brothers, and once again, they renamed the building. This time they called it the Hersco Brothers Restaurant and Beer Parlor, and branched out into the culinary business. Just before World War II, Robert Hersco's son, William, became the acting manager of the saloon. William changed the name to the Blue Eagle Cafe during the war, which helped bring in business from the workers in the shipyard. And right around 1949, the saloon's name changed back to the White Eagle Cafe and Saloon. In the 1960s, the White Eagle became a hangout for rowdy types and people with poor reputations. After William passed away, the second generation of Herscos met a New York immigrant named Tony Ferrone. Ferrone became interested in purchasing the business at the time when they were wanting to sell. So Ferrone immediately overhauled the whole building and renovated the space for live music. It became a hip spot for people to have a couple drinks and listen to some good music, and soon the saloon had its good reputation back. In the 1970s, the White Eagle was purchased for an undisclosed amount by Charles Hughes. Hughes made it his mission to make the White Eagle the most reputable establishment in Portland. He began asking bikers to remove their vests before entering the building, as well as remove any weapons they might be carrying. This helped made all of his patrons feel more comfortable, and it was actually well received by the bikers. The White Eagle was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1997. The McMenamin brothers purchased the saloon in 1998. This was another historic building in the long line of historic buildings that the McMenamin brothers have saved. The hotel is widely considered one of the city's most haunted locations. Known for its history as a former brothel and boarding house, guests and staff report ghostly encounters, including feeling restrained, being pushed on the stairs, and encountering spirits like Sam or an elderly woman in the haunted hotel. McMenamin's White Eagle Saloon is home to many phantoms. One spirit is a young woman who is pried away from her love. According to urban legend, a woman named Rose worked at the saloon for many years. She was one of the working girls who frequented there. As the legend goes, she fell in love with a sailor. The sailor loved her back, but he was married. He left on a long voyage, and when he came back, he found out that Rose had been murdered. Another story tells us the sailor was going to marry her and take her far away, but the brothel boss didn't want that to happen, so he murdered Rose.
You know, that's
I was gonna say that
Klondike?
Klondike, the same. It's
The
like
crying woman, yeah.
a reoccurring theme.
Yes. It shows up everywhere.
Gosh.
All those brothels and all those sailors.
Without downtown.
The other version I found was that the sailor was going to take her away from the brothel, but she changed her mind, so the sailor killed her. But who really knows what happened? Maybe she'll tell us someday. We do know that poor Rose had her throat cut, though, when she died. Today it is thought that Rose haunts the upstairs rooms at the White Eagle Saloon. Many people report hearing a woman weeping, almost as she's crying out for her long-lost lover. Rose is most often seen on the second floor, in or around what would have been the working woman's rooms.
So, unlike the Klondike, where our crying woman's in the basement,
This one's on the second floor.
it does sound like we need to set something up with this place to do some. Another place to throw on our list of things we gotta do.
You know, hands down, I think this will be one of the top ones. They'll be up there, I think, with the Klondike. As of right now, I don't think anything can really top the Klondike for us anyway.
Well, we still need to get back into Klondike and turn that into a documentary, because I think we could. I think we should.
Definitely.
I mean, come on. I mean, these 20-minute videos that you put on YouTube, I mean, you only get to do so much of a bit. You don't really get to dive deep into the people, the history, the major occurrences. I mean, you're just doing a 20-minute
I'll just add
documentary.
up each individual 20-minute segment and throw it all together and make it all one.
Yeah, just do one giant 90-minute documentary of the place.
It
That way
still wouldn't do it justice.
So after going on the ghost tour with you the last couple of years, I definitely want to go to the Klondike.
we all want to go to the Klondike. It is one of the hot spots that is really hard to get into. Luckily, we do have some contacts that we're going to have to sweet talk. I know James and I and Josh have already said that if we are able to get into the Klondike with this connection, since she is a tattoo artist, we will come in and get tattooed.
Very cool.
Yep. Kind of like returning the favor.
Maybe we should all get a Klondike building somewhere.
Dude, that would be... yeah. Let me think about that one for a second.
I could go down on like a calf or something, that no one's really going to see.
I'm sitting here thinking, yeah. Oh, Oregon Ghost Conference says my best paranormal experience was at the Klondike.
Well, the Klondike is phenomenal.
It is. It is.
I just, again, there was some good footage in the documentary about the Klondike, but they left out some of the really good stuff.
Yeah, let's not talk about that damn document, that thing. I'm still not happy with it.
They just need to give us the cutting room, the from the cutting room floor.
Honestly, we should just try to get the building and do our own.
Exactly.
Well, only because Doc has a master plan with that.
Oh, there's lots of master plans. There's a whole list of things.
No,
I'm sitting at 9 documentaries to shoot if we get locations.
holy cow!
Oh yeah, like if we get the Watts house here in Scappoose, that's not just a 20-minute video. That's going to be a deep dive. That's going to be talking to Historical Society. You know, get to know the people that built it, the people who live there. You know, really get into a deep dive. Education, research is important.
Absolutely.
And then I'll show the investigation. So once you know everything about the people,
Oh yeah.
the emotions, what went into the house,
Who? What,
then
where,
we'll get to the investigation bit. But it's like our Bigfoot video. I want to tell the story. The Pisgah Home Colony, I want to tell the story because you can't do a film justice.
No.
If you're going to do a 20-minute video on the Pisgah Home and do it justice.
No, that Pisgah House documentary is going to be awesome, especially that you found that picture that you sent me with me finding that leg of the cast iron stove.
I know we don't like to do nighttime runs up there, but maybe sometime during the summer we need to stay up a little bit later and do like an actual nighttime investigation.
Oh.
It's going to be nerve-wracking because we got to come back down all those hills in the dark, but
Yeah, especially that one section right there at the switchback.
yeah. But no, the Pisgah, I mean, we're doing a little slight detour for everybody watching at home, listening on Spotify when it comes out on Wednesday. We feel very strongly about the Pisgah home just because of the fact that so many men were carted off from their homes. It was like a poor farm, Okay, you're homeless, you're an injured vet. We're going to take you, we're going to put you up on this mountain 8 miles up from the nearest town, and you're going to work and you're going to do this. And they were just abandoned. They were literally forgotten up there. And I mean, I know the King, myself, we feel passionate about that location, and we want to do it justice.
If I knew we were going to be doing a documentary on the Pisgah home all these years later, I would have taken a lot more pictures than what we did up there. Because I think we took video as well.
Yeah, we've got some video. The last video that...
Just to kind of show, what from then to now, I mean, because it's really overgrown tremendously.
Yeah, I know I've got a bunch of pictures that I'll be including into it, but I think what really sealed the deal with doing this documentary was the fact that we have a video of us doing a spirit box session up there.
And it's
who's going to tell your story, and the ghosts tell us you tell it.
Yeah.
What that came across the spirit box, you tell it.
Yeah, tell it is what it said. Yeah.
Anyways, back to
back to McMenamins.
Back to McMenamins. Let's sidetrack. Woo!
You derailed into some more.
Well, when do we not derail? I mean, could you imagine us doing this on stage at the Orca Ghost Conference next year? I mean, if we wanted to do this, poor Tammy's up on the stage. She's reading her stuff. She's doing the bit. You and me got microphones. We're wandering the crowd, throwing in smart-ass comments from time to time.
And just before we go any farther, Oregon Ghost Conference, don't even think about it.
So witnesses consistently describe her as a young woman, probably in her early 20s, wearing what appears to be a dress or a nightgown from the early 1900s.
Not white, right?
No color listed.
That works for me.
She's most frequently spotted in room 2, believed to be where she was killed. Guests who stay in that room report waking to a woman standing at the foot of the bed or sitting in the room's chair, watching him. When witnesses react or try to speak to her, she fades away, not vanishing instantly, but gradually becoming more transparent until she's gone. One guest described waking up to around 3 a.m. to find a woman in old-fashioned clothing standing by the window, looking out onto the street below. He assumed it was another hotel guest who had somehow entered the wrong room, and he called out to her. The woman turned to him to face him, and he could clearly see her features, young, sad, and very pale. When he reached for the light switch, she simply faded from view. When he checked, the door was still locked from the inside. Other guests have reported feeling someone sitting on the edge of their bed, feeling the mattress compress under the weight, only to find no one is there. Some describe the sensation of someone playing with their hair or touching their face gently, as if curious about these strangers sleeping in her room. One of the most commonly reported phenomena associated with Rose is the sudden overwhelming scent of perfume, heavy, floral, and distinctly old-fashioned. The fragrance appears without warning in various parts of the second floor, particularly in room 2 and the hallway outside it. Staff members cleaning the rooms have reported to be hit by a wall of perfume so strong it's almost choking. Then the scent lingers for a few minutes and then it fades away, leaving no source and no explanation. The smell doesn't correspond to any of the cleaning products or air fresheners used in the hotel. Guests have reported the same phenomenon. One couple described laying in bed when the scent of roses or something sweeter, maybe jasmine, suddenly filled the room. The smell was so intense they checked to see if someone had brought flowers into the room or sprayed perfume. They found nothing, and within 5 minutes, the scent was completely gone. While Rose is the White Eagle's most famous ghost, she's not alone. Another spirit, identified by staff and psychics as Sam, is believed to be a former bouncer or security man who worked at the White Eagle during its rougher years.
Damn, I know another ghost named Sam at a different location. How coincidental could that be? But
Yeah.
he was a former bouncer, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I don't think this other Sam was a bouncer. I think he was just a patron.
yeah. Well, Sam died at the White Eagle. Accounts vary on whether it's from a fight, a heart attack, or injuries sustained breaking up a brawl. But his spirit apparently never realized that his shift had ended. Sam is most often reported on the ground floor, near the bar and the front entrance, the areas a bouncer would have patrolled in life. Witnesses describe him as a large man, broad-shouldered and intimidating, wearing what appears to be a working-class clothing from the early to mid-20th century, suspenders, work pants, and a cap. Unlike Rose, who appears sad and sometimes frightened, Sam's presence is described as vigilant and protective. He doesn't seem to realize he's dead. Instead, he appears to be continuing the job he did in his life, keeping watch over the bar, ensuring order is maintained, and protecting the establishment from troublemakers. One bartender described seeing a large man standing near the front door one day at closing time, with his arms crossed, watching the street outside. Assuming it was a regular who had lingered after last call, the bartender called out that they were closed. The figure looked at him, and the bartender realized he could see through the man and see the door behind him. By the time the bartender blinked in shock, the figure had disappeared. Another staff member reported feeling a large hand firmly grip her shoulder when she was carrying a heavy case of bottles, steadying her as she started to lose her balance. She turned to thank whoever had helped her, but she was completely alone in that section of the bar. The sensation of that steadying hand remained distinct, large, strong, and reassuring. Often, he will back up the toilets in the downstairs bathroom, even when the saloon is closed for business. So, Sam, as the story goes, was a longtime patron and friend of the Grisco family. He worked at the saloon, rented a room on the premises. He was so well liked that he even had his picture placed above the bar. Many customers at the bar want to have an experience with Sam, the resident ghost who hangs out by the brews. Sam was reportedly an orphan who was adopted by the owners back in the day and grew up in and around the tavern. Sam loves to play pranks on customers, from knocking items out of their hands to backing up the toilets. He's even been said to make toilet paper fly around the women's bathrooms. The information I find, it's crazy.
I'm sorry, but if I'm a spirit, I sure as shit am not going to be, hanging around the bathroom. Oh my God.
Well, like the bridge tender. Well, you got the bridge tender in Seaside. You've got a spirit that hangs out in the bathrooms.
Yeah, the little girl.
Moaning Myrtle.
Who knows why the bathroom is a popular place?
So, a would-be burglar who attempted to break into the White Eagle through a back window told the police he abandoned the attempt because a huge man appeared in front of him inside the building, staring at him with such intensity that he fled in terror. Security footage from that night shows that no one was inside the building at the time. But it does show that the would-be burglar's face went completely pale with fear as he looked through the window before he runs away. Other rooms in the saloon are also reportedly haunted. Staff members often hear strange noises coming from the basement. One employee reported that it felt like eyes were watching him as he went down the stairs. Another scary incident involved a waitress who was carrying out a customer's order. As she went to place it on the table, the plates flew out of her hands by themselves. Although there are some aggressive ghosts, there are many ghosts at the White Eagle Saloon who mean people no harm. While most are relatively harmless, there is a rumor that a waitress was shoved down the staircase by a spirit not long ago. While she is okay, you can bet more people hold on to the handrail now. Apparently, the further you go down inside the McMenamins White Eagle Saloon, the meaner the ghosts get.
Oh.
So when you go to the basement, employees have said that the freezer door will close on them out of nowhere, a potentially lethal situation. Some said they've been pinched or shoved while alone in the cellar. Staff members universally dislike going into the basement. Even those that are skeptical about the paranormal admit the space feels wrong in ways that defy easy explanation.
Geez, going back to the Klondike.
Yeah. Descriptions are remarkably consistent. The temperature drops noticeably when descending down the stairs. The air feels heavy and thick, making it difficult to breathe normally. There's a pervasive sense of being watched by something hostile. Not curious or sad like the ghosts upstairs, but more malevolent and unwelcoming. One manager described the sensation as walking into the den of a predator that's allowing you to enter but could attack you at any moment. Multiple staff members report feeling their heart rate increase and their fight or flight response activated the moment they enter the basement, even when they know logically they're safe. Several employees refuse to go to the basement alone under any circumstances. One former bartender quit specifically because her job occasionally required basement trips. She described feeling hands pushing at her back when she walked down the stairs, and a voice whispering threats that she couldn't quite make out. Unlike the generally benign presence upstairs, the basement entity has allegedly physically attacked people on multiple occasions.
You know what the basement needs?
What?
Josh.
True.
He'll whip him into shape.
So, a maintenance worker reported being pushed from behind while on the basement stairs, nearly causing a serious fall. He was alone in the basement at the time, and the video footage shows him just suddenly stumbling forward as if he were shoved, though nothing and no one was visible behind him. Another employee described feeling something grab her ankle while she was retrieving supplies from the basement storage area. She looked down to see absolutely nothing touching her leg, but the sensation of a tight grip was unmistakable. Pulling her leg free, she felt resistance as if something was genuinely holding her. When she returned upstairs and checked her ankle, she had bruises in a pattern that looked disturbingly like finger marks. A delivery man who regularly brought supplies to the White Eagle finally refused to continue servicing the location after an incident in the basement. He reported being struck hard enough in the back to leave a bruise, despite being alone in the space. His replacement also reported feeling violently unwelcome in the basement, and now insists that staff members retrieve the deliveries from the street level door rather than having him take them through the basement entrance. Staff members who work at the White Eagle long enough develop strategies for dealing with the basement. Never go alone, complete your business as quick as possible, and never turn your back to the darkest corner of the space. Some believe that these may be eternally upset spirits who experienced a terrible fate back in the day, being shanghaied. Portland is famous for its startling Shanghai tunnels, especially men who were lured into the bars or given a lot to drink, then smuggled out of the pub through the hidden tunnels. When men awoke, they had been shanghaied, which is kidnapped, and put on the ships to work against their will. The basement contains several small enclosed spaces that some believe may have been the holding cells for these men that were being shanghaied. The tiny rooms can be locked from the outside and have no windows or ventilation beyond the door. Standing inside one with the door closed is a claustrophobic nightmare, and that was presumably the point. Paranormal investigators who have studied these spaces report overwhelming feelings of fear, desperation, and anger. Multiple sensitives reported receiving impressions of men imprisoned in these cells, being terrified, realizing what was about to happen to them, and they were utterly helpless to escape. One psychic investigator reported receiving an impression so vivid and violent that she had to leave the basement immediately. A man had awakened in one of the cells, hung over from drunk stupor, slowly realizing he had been kidnapped and would be forced upon a ship. The psychic described feeling the man's progression from confusion to fear to rage to despair, emotions that were so powerful they'd apparently left an imprint on the space itself. Some theories suggest that an aggressive entity in the basement isn't a single spirit, but rather a concentration of negative energy from all over the bar. From all of the fear, violence, and death that occurred in the underground space over the decades. This accumulated darkness has taken on a life of its own, and feeling on the discomfort of those who enter its territory.
So you're saying we need to go?
Yes. While the Shanghai tunnels have not been found within McMenamins White Eagle Saloon, they have been discovered nearby, meaning the spirits of those who were taken advantage of may also lurk nearby. Another ghost, who goes unnamed, likes to tug on guest shirts and staff members' aprons. One staff member reported feeling completely at ease with the ghost, even though its behavior could be rather annoying at times. Multiple people died at the White Eagle under violent circumstances: murders, fights, accidents, and possibly some intentional killings related to the Shanghai operation. Paranormal theories suggest that the violent or unexpected death can trap spirits in the location where they died, particularly if someone died with strong emotions or unfinished business. Even with the individual deaths, the White Eagle was a site of immense human suffering for decades. Prostitutes working in dangerous situations, workers drinking away the pain of back-breaking labor, violence and exploitation, and the regular presence of the desperate and downtrodden. All of this negative energy soaked into the building for more than a century. So if you decide to stay at the White Eagle Saloon and Hotel, keep in mind that room 2 is the most active, and also the hotel has shared bathrooms. So make sure to stop by the desk and write down any of your experiences in the ghost log. And that is all I have this week on McMenamins, but I've got 2 or 3 more hotels next week.
Excellent. And we actually went over an hour.
Great start to McMenamins.
Yes. Of course, there's a reason why we go off the rails from time to time.
Well, I enjoy it.
All right. Well, go ahead and wrap this up for the night there, you two, and we'll see everybody next Sunday.
All right. Well, in that case, let's keep your cryptids close and tight. Hug them all night. Until next week.
Don't forget, ghosts were people too.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Good night.